No, don't even. He was there, goddammit, and he was wearing your jacket, Barry.
Where'd he go? Did the crabs carry him away?
I swear to God. I believe you, Julie. He took the body. He came in. He took the body.
Why would he do that?
I don't know. Barry, okay, why would he try to run you over? Why did he make coleslaw on Helen's head? He's fucking with us.
Come on, Julie, let's go back to the house.
Where's your jacket, Barry? Don't you see? He's got us now. Okay, this is exactly what he wants. We can't go to the police. Not now. He's made sure of that. He's just out there and he's watching us and waiting. What are you waiting for, huh? What are you waiting for?
Welcome back to the show, everybody.
Welcome back to the show.
Yes, indeed.
We have a fun movie today. I'm excited to talk about this.
I've been wanting to get to this movie for a while.
Same, and I'm surprised that we have not done this earlier, but this was the moment.
Yes, I think that this movie is the moment.
This is the moment.
I think you're absolutely right. Well, listeners, everybody out there, my name's Pete.
And I'm Scott, and these are the movies that made us gay.
Yay. Oh boy, so much fun.
We got to our I Know What You Did Last Summer, directed by Jim Gillespie, written by Kevin Williamson, that big old homo, with current reigning Mr. Delaware Cub 2020 and our very own Miss Croaker Queen 2021, Lex Apro. Welcome to the show.
Welcome back.
Thank you for having me back. Every time I watch this, I'm like, I want that crown. Yeah. I want that Croaker Queen crown. It's so beautiful.
But the real question is, would your boyfriend jump into the ocean with the dead body that you just dumped off if he grabbed your crown? Would he do
I would
that?
make him.
Yeah.
I would make him do it.
I feel like, though, this crown is easily reproduced. I mean,
You would think, because I've done, as a DIY queen, I've done a lot of research in how to, there's like one or two people that sell them on Etsy for like $500.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's too much. And I'm like, I know that you're not you're not like hand sculpting this metal. I know what you're doing. So like the pieces aren't easy to find. Like it's harder than you think to be like, I want a bejeweled seahorse.
Sure.
That's 2 inches tall.
Sure.
It's harder to find that than you'd think.
You know where you could find all that stuff real easy and on the cheap? Mexico. Because
that makes sense.
Let me tell you what.
Sure.
I've got some grandmothers that had full, like, tchotchkes made of shells. They had, like, jewelry boxes. And I remember my grandma on my dad's side, she had, like, they would, like, make, like, sculptures out of, like, sea shells. And there was a full-on car.
Love it.
Car that was a music box.
I think I've seen that at, like tchotchke stores and stuff.
Yeah. And full on car that was like a music box, and it had like it would have like wire, like copper wire or something to like make, framework and accents. Yeah. But it was fully just everything made out of seashells. And even as a kid, I was like, this is so tacky and I love it. Oh my goodness.
This could use some glitter.
Yeah. Yeah, actually. A little bit of help. But yeah, I Know What You Did Last Summer. What a ride.
What a ride.
I'm surprised you did Scream before this, because I feel like on the gay scale, this feels gayer than Scream. I don't know why that is.
It has the patron saint of all young homosexual men that came of age in the 90s, Ryan Phillippe.
Yes. And it also had Jennifer Love Hewitt, who everyone could pretend that they had a crush on.
My goodness.
They were watching it for Jennifer Love Hewitt. And
J-Love and SJP.
Really scoping
or
out
not SJP, SMG.
SMG.
Yeah, I think both of those served as like conduits for like gay boy, like they're my crushes, but really I just want to be as fierce as them.
And Mom, don't forget to tape Party of Five and Buffy this week.
Yeah, I have a lot of straight friends, and I feel like my love of Jennifer Love Hewitt just kind of like helped like get a foot in the door of like, yeah, I can talk about this one. Do we all remember where we were when we first saw I Know What You Did Last Summer?
Well, I remember when this movie came out because my sister, who was I think in high school at the time, she saw this in the movie theater with her boyfriend, and I was just really like, "Oh, like
classic."
Did you like it?
Movie.
Oh yeah.
Did you like it? Did you have fun with it? And she was like, "I thought it was dumb." And I was like,
it.
oh, okay. Well,
That sounds about right,
I
actually.
thought it looked fun. And then I rented it from, I think, our local gas station, the movie wall.
Oh, my God.
I picked this off the movie wall and I rented it. And I loved it. And it's one of those things that with my sister, I had to be like, it's okay.
but
Just
in
to save face.
behind
But I
closed doors.
secretly loved it. And then I think I just bought it on tape and would just watch it just like on the reg.
I don't know. I remember my first time watching Scream, but I feel like this movie, I just like, it was always there.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes,
Like,
yeah.
that's how I feel. I'm like, I just always remember this movie. I don't remember the first time, but it's always been like part of the conversation and the quotes and everything.
Yeah, for sure. I saw it in the theater. It was I think it was my first year of college. And I went with a group of friends and a new boy that we started hanging out with that I was very much attracted to. His name was Ricky. And I was like, oh, you should come with us.
I think you've talked about Ricky
to
before.
this movie. And he went with us. And we sat next to each other. And
Did you touch hands reaching for the popcorn together?
You know, we didn't. Nothing really ever came.
Did you
of
just
that
like hold your
situation.
hand, like palm up
Expectantly.
next to him? No.
Just grabbed his knee when I got scared. Ooh, no, none of that happened. But I do remember thinking at the time that Ryan Phillippe's body,
That body, yaddy.
Ronnie little body.
Scrawny but slamming.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. That's what I was going to say. At the time, my 17 and a half year old self was just like, oh my God, this is unattainable, body. This is this male, form is something that I will never reach. And now in 2021, I'm looking, and I'm 40 something, and I'm looking at him going, this is a child.
A baby.
It's
a baby.
Small baby with little chicken arms, and I was sitting at home thinking, "Oh my goodness,
He has
is
that
so built."
that teeny little frame.
Yeah, I can appreciate Freddie Prinze Jr. a little bit more now. I'm thinking, wow, he's looking very cute. I feel like at the time I was
Yeah.
like, "Get out of here! Who are you?"
I think because Freddie has a more mature face. Mm-hmm. And
Aged
so,
into
as
a-
a child, you're like, "Oh, you're old. Get out of
Yes.
here, old."
Aged
Right,
into a
right.
very handsome older man too, if you ask me.
I think so. I think so too.
Yeah, I think he's very much like his wife, Sarah Michelle Gellar. I feel like the two of them are pretty not ageless, but they look great for
Yeah.
being in their mid 40s. The two of
Yeah,
them.
they're gracefully.
Yes. Absolutely. And he has a wonderful fruitful voiceover career
He does.
nowadays. He's in the Star Wars universe.
Oh, is he?
Yes,
I didn't
he
know that.
is.
Is he Ezra?
No, he's not
On
Ezra.
Rebels?
No, he's
Okay.
not
Who is he
Ezra.
on?
He is now I'm forgetting, but he's
Is he in Clone Wars or Rebels?
He's in Rebels, yeah.
Okay.
And he's Ezra's Jedi teacher, and his name is escaping me, and now I'm going to sound like a fool, but whatever. Yeah, so it's got the eye candy with Ryan Phillippe and Freddie Prinze Jr. But I mean, we talked about Jennifer Love Hewitt a little bit in our commentary track for Can't Hardly Wait.
Yeah.
But Jennifer Love Hewitt, I mean, this girl,
Bless her heart.
I love her. I can't get enough of this girl.
Treasure, that one.
I watched the first season of Ghost Whisperer a few years ago because I was like, this show seems like it should be, part of my wheelhouse. It's fine.
Sure. You know who loved Ghost Whisperer? My mom. My mom.
I mean,
It seems
it's
like a
that-
mom show.
It's that
Like
classic
Ghost Whisperer
Friday
medium.
night show of just something's on the TV and it's basic cable.
yeah.
Yeah. But J. Love Hewitt always, to me, gives off this, bossy bottom energy.
Oh, yes. Absolutely.
Sure.
Like, she'd be like, bottom, can't host, don't drive.
Yeah. Yeah. Pick me up. Yeah, for sure. She just is. I mean, she just seems like every talk show appearance I've ever seen of her. She just seems
She's
like
just
a
happy to be there.
bubbly delight.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been with her. I'm going to call her Love this entire podcast.
Miss
because
Love?
that is her preferred first name.
I said Jen when we were watching the movie, and Pete was like, no.
She is Love.
It's Love.
Yeah, if you know her,
Is that
if
a
you're
real
friendly-
thing?
Yes. Like I
Oh.
feel like Love is actually like she goes by that, and if you meet her, she'll say like "Nice to meet you, I'm Love" or whatever. All the times that I've met her in person, 0.00. But
you pass her at the Gelsons.
right, actually, no, that's wrong. I did meet her in person once when I worked at the Glendale Galleria when I was in high school.
How are those?
Okay.
How are those?
Those cans.
Those cans in
I
person.
mean, and this was in high school, so she was probably 16 at the time, too. So they were perky. Let me tell you this. You know who she was with at the time when I was working at the Glendale Galleria and she came into my store? Mario Lopez.
Love it.
Oh, another
Yeah.
ageless human.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, absolutely. He looks exactly the same. And he's a couple of years older than Love and I because we are the same age. And
Are you the same age
as Love?
as Love?
77.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I think she's a bit older than me, but yeah.
So you
And-
would have grown up with her on Kids Incorporated.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm getting at. Me and her go way back. We're old friends.
Is Kids Incorporated is that like Zoom?
Oh my goodness, are you not familiar with Kids Incorporated? We need
I'm
to get
not.
you up.
I
to
remember.
speed.
I remember the later years of Kids Incorporated, probably when it wasn't cool anymore.
So, Kids Incorporated listeners, listen up,
Children.
Yeah, this show is absolutely bananas. You need to go on YouTube, and we might have to pause just so you can like get up to speed. So it takes place in this like dinner theater, coffee shop, soda fountain,
Nightclub.
It sounds like every setting of a children's show. It's like
Yeah.
it's whatever we need it to be.
Yes, and it's operated, run by, and patronized exclusively by children.
Not an adult in sight.
Not one inside. There's not even like an old grizzled janitor
Stage
character.
manager?
Yeah, none of that. It's all just the kids.
Box office attendant. No.
Right. And
Wow.
the main cast are the titular Kids Incorporated, and it's a rotating group of kids that are in kind of like the house band at this place, and I think it's called like the Place or whatever. Sorry, like fans.
That's again
mega listeners.
sounds about right.
Right, the
Was
Place.
Kids Incorporated around before the new
MMC? Yes,
MMC?
absolutely.
Okay. So they kind of beat them to the punch
They
of
did.
like singing and dancing
They
kids
did.
on TV of
And-
the 80s.
And so what they did on the show was they would sing pop songs of the day in a very like Kids Bop style.
Okay.
And you may remember such notables such as Jennifer Love Hewitt, Mario Lopez, Martika, who sang Toy Soldiers, one Miss Stacy Fergie Ferguson.
Heavily
Oh.
used on that show too.
Yes, of the famous rock band Wild Orchid.
So did it have like a story to it, or was it just like a variety show?
The episodes ran like sitcom, like so they would have a story and like a little problem of the week, and then the pop songs would kind of like like have something to do with what was going on. But they did like fully pop songs of the 80s, so these kids were singing fully like inappropriate like Madonna and Prince songs in full like costume.
My favorite is
Amazing.
the Material Girl with Stacy, where they're all in Marie Antoinette outfits.
Yes.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Where
I need
Post
to
a
look
clip
that
of
up.
it.
it's so good, yes. And Jennifer Love Hewitt was on the show as a very small child. I'm telling you, she is like, maybe she was like 9 through 12, her run on the show.
Probably around the same time she did the Barbie tape.
Oh yeah.
Working out Barbie.
I forgot
Yes.
about the Barbie tape.
Yes.
That was a thing.
Love it. And she's actually credited on Kids Incorporated as Love Hewitt. There's no Jennifer.
So
Huh.
cool.
Yeah.
So does she have hippie parents?
Possibly. Yeah, probably. Yeah. And so she's been in the business forever. She's this kid actor. She was on Kids Inc. She attempted a music career in her late teens.
I forgot about that.
Yes. Her album, Let's Go Bang. Like, there's a comma in there, so it's like, let's go. Bang. I don't know. That's a weird
It
title.
was not a great choice.
No, not a good choice. There's one song. Is it How Do I Live?
Well,
How
they
do I live,
they
blah, blah.
kind of rebooted the music career in the late 90s because she did the title track to I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. How Do I Live? Which I listen to
you're
regularly.
right.
Yeah.
It's kind of a great song. And she was
Well,
on...
I Still Know is a pretty solid sequel.
It is. It's
Yeah.
fun. It's very different, and it
Yeah.
almost could have worked as not even being a sequel, like on its own as its own movie. But like, I like it.
I remember when
It's solid.
when Love
Yeah.
was on the Rolling Stone cover for Bare Naked in the early 2000s. I was in high school.
Was that another album of hers?
Yeah.
Bare Naked.
Yeah, like she got a Rolling Stone cover with
Who's
it.
naming these album titles?
What horny dude
My
is
goodness.
like
They're
cigar
capitalizing on
chomping
it.
dude?
But it's one of those things. Straight boys weren't listening to Love.
No, they were getting her like Maxim
Oh, definitely.
issues.
Her Maxim, her Rolling Stone,
Yeah.
but they weren't buying the albums.
No, not by a long shot. And I also remember she did
Noxzema commercials?
She did Noxzema
She did-
commercials, yes. But I was going to say the is it Heartbreakers with Sigourney
Oh,
Weaver?
sure.
Okay, so she's in Heartbreakers with Sigourney Weaver and Jason Lee. And Jason Lee goes on Leno to promote the movie. And he's talking about the movie, and Leno's like, so how did you like working, with your co-stars, Sigourney Weaver and Jennifer Love Hewitt? And he's like, oh, Sigourney's great, blah, blah, blah. It's like, oh, okay, what about Jennifer Love Hewitt? He goes, Jason Lee, like, cool guy. Jason Lee's like, cool, like, I'm a professional skateboarder. Like, I work with Kevin Smith. Like, I'm, like, the cool actor, right, of this, like, time frame. And this is, like, before all the Scientology stuff came out. And they're like, okay, so what did you think of Jennifer Love Hewitt? And he goes, she laughs a lot. Shade. That's all he had to say about her. I was like, really?
Well, fuck
There,
you.
to quote Gia Gunn, there's room for everyone.
everyone.
Let's just say that.
I was like, damn, girl. Okay, I guess you did not get along with her. But I don't know how you don't get along with her. She just seems like the nicest person.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard any. There's never been any behind the scenes tea of like someone storms off because Love was mean or
Right, she's
something.
so
It's
rude.
just
And do you remember when she did RuPaul's Drag Race? She did season 4 where it was the makeover challenge, and she just seemed lovely, just happy to be there.
real
like,
Paula Abdul
just
energy.
like, just when they were doing the lip sync, just like in tears
Yeah.
of just like how moved she was by all of it. And I like that when she said to Ru, I need a drag name, and RuPaul was just like, Jennifer Love Hewitt is the best drag
Already.
name of all time.
You already did it.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Name like
I
love.
totally forgot she guest hosted.
Yeah.
And
was a
one of
while
those
ago.
things, like, still booked and blessed. Like, she's still on just 911
That's right, with
collecting paychecks.
Angela Bassett and
Yeah.
Chris Traeger from Parks and Rec. I can't remember his real name.
Oh, not
Rob
Rob
Lowe.
Lowe. Yeah, Rob Lowe. Okay.
Yeah, Rob Lowe.
Jeez Louise.
Rob Lowe strikes me as he'd be playing like a hot fireman. Is he like a hot fire chief?
I think he's like a police chief, fire chief. He's a chief
Okay.
of some kind, but he's like, obviously hot because
Sure.
he's Rob Lowe.
Yeah. The 911, another show. Never seen one episode, but hey, somebody
Seems like a
watch it.
mom show.
Exactly.
I'm glad that it's paying Love's mortgage, though.
Yeah, why not? Yeah. She's doing well in TV in this era of her career. But okay, so we've got Love doing the Lord's work. She's killing it in this movie.
And also, this movie would have been a big deal for both her and Sarah. I mean,
Yes.
these were major teen slasher movies where they had just done TV work. I think Sarah, she had just finished season 1 of Buffy, which was probably on the verge of being canceled.
Yes.
I think that Buffy was very lucky to get past its first 2 seasons. So this was a big deal for her. Sarah, I mean, she had done TV movies. She won an Emmy for playing
Erica Kane's daughter.
on All My Children. So this also was kind of a big deal for her.
And then she did Scream 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was just kind of like I don't know, cameo.
Probably
Scream
kind
2.
of.
Well, heightened
Heightened
cameo.
inflated cameo.
She's not quite playing the Drew opening scene, but she was just
And
real
she's no
popular at the
Tatum.
time.
No, not by a long shot. Yeah, Daytime Emmy Award winner Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Well deserved.
Oh yeah, for sure. Don't dig too deep into the timeline and the age difference with Erica Kane. And I mean, Susan Lucci could definitely be Sarah Michelle Gellar's mother, but the ages on the show doesn't quite add up. That's another episode.
Soap operas at one point. Joan Crawford stepped in for her daughter.
There
so
you go, yeah.
ages are nebulous.
There you go. I think actually Sarah Michelle Gellar's character, they aged up from like 16 to like 25 in like a season.
Oh.
Yeah. Which I don't know why they aged her up. That would have made Susan Lucci even older. But yeah, so I mean, it's a solid cast. These four are like, it's very well rounded. I love these four. We also have Johnny Galecki in there. I mean, thankless role, but hey.
Here, yeah, he got a paycheck.
Yeah, exactly. Doesn't need it nowadays, but he got.
Anne Hesh kind of knocking this small role out of the park.
So that's the thing about this movie is that, like, I like this movie a lot. I will say that off the bat. Mm-hmm. I feel like all of the red herrings would be more interesting than the movie we end up with.
Right, sure. If they actually did it.
Yeah, like Anne Heche is dressed like she's a member of the Firefly family.
Yes.
Why is she like Leatherface?
Looking like she's renting out the Texas Chainsaw Massacre property.
Yes. And then Johnny Galecki, I was like, oh, that seems like that'd be interesting. Mm-hmm. And then her sister, Elsa.
Bridget Wilson Sampras. Mm-hmm. I was thinking when watching it, wouldn't it be kind of funny if Bridget ended up being the killer of the movie? Because they kind of introduce her of that, like, oh, you better watch out for this one.
They keep doing the, like, insert cuts of her, like, pretending to, like, do a mannequin, but, like, looking at her sister.
Love it. But, I mean, I do kind of also love that the character's just an asshole.
Yeah. She's just
a bitch.
cunty.
Yeah.
I think she skipped doing Mortal Kombat 2 to do this.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah,
wow.
She was Sonya Blade in
I mean, wise decision.
Definitely the correct move.
Yep.
But
I just found out when we did a revisit of Mortal Kombat that she replaced Cameron Diaz.
Yes.
In the first movie, like last minute
replacement.
Oh, I heard about that.
Cammy.
Wow.
Very interesting.
Also, smart move on Cameron's part.
Yeah, too bad you broke that wrist, Cameron.
And also just someone, Bridget Wilson Sampras, well, she's not married to Sampras anymore, but just kind of dropped off the radar in the mid-2000s. I have not seen her in a movie in years.
Yeah, I'm trying to think the last would have been like this, Billy Madison.
Oh,
like,
man.
I last remember seeing her in Shop Girl with Claire Danes.
Oh, wow.
And that was the last time she's probably been seen. I'm sure that she probably just married rich and just is like, I don't want to work anymore.
Or maybe
I'm good.
Maybe she got a good settlement from when she divorced Pete Sampras.
This is true.
He was a
there you go.
She's got that tennis money.
Tennis player. Okay, so we decided that this movie takes place in North Carolina.
That's what the movie tells us.
I was reading that those opening shots to that new that like new metal song were done on the California northern coast.
It's where they filmed The Birds.
Okay. All right. Bodega Bay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's Bodega Bay.
That makes sense.
But honestly, every time I watch this movie, I'm like, this is like Rhode Island. This is New England, right? This movie is New England. No, it's North Carolina. Why is it North Carolina?
I don't know. Yeah, because it feels so New England-y with the whole like fishing boat thing.
Yeah,
like
the 4th of July Croaker Queen contest.
Yeah.
I think that Dawson's Creek was also set in North Carolina.
It was.
So it's like Kevin Williamson just had like a bee in his bonnet of
ties there,
that area of the coast at the time.
Yeah.
I mean, M. Night's the same way with Philly, with my area. So
yeah, absolutely. So Scott mentioned it briefly, but this soundtrack, I mean,
it's a good one.
It is filled with new, and that is NU with an umlaut metal. Like, oh my goodness.
That
It's
Kool-Aid
so
Shaker
dated.
song, which is the deep purple cover, was on every single trailer and TV spot.
Oh, that's Kula Shaker doing the Hush?
It's Cooler Shaker.
Oh, okay. I mean, I'm not mad at Kula Shaker. They're not new metal. Mm-hmm. They were like indie, like...
Cool guy band.
Kula Shaker was indie cool guy band, but all the rest of the...
They're also on a soundtrack with Korn.
Oh, my God. Yeah. dated. Dated for sure.
It's a very time-stamped soundtrack, but in a great way.
Yes.
And the composer is the composer of Hocus Pocus.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, sure. Okay.
John Debney.
Okay. All right.
Hocus Pocus poll. I love that.
Yeah, that's it.
Always, I can bring everything back
Always
to Hocus
relevant.
Pocus somehow.
Okay.
When they made this movie, Scream, I think, had just been shot or had come out. So TriStar quickly scooped up Kevin Williamson to adapt Lois Duncan's I Know What You Did Last Summer. Have you read I Know What You Did Last Summer?
I have not, but I understand that it's not too far from this.
Yeah.
This just has more murder.
I read it when I was in junior high because we were looking for books to read, and I pulled this off the reading wall because it was the movie color. It was the movie cover.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
And as I remember about the movie, it's about these 4 teenagers on graduation night. They hit a kid on a bicycle.
Oh, that's worse.
And they just decide to leave him there and go about their way. Shit. And then the kid's family 1 year later ends up sending them the note.
Oh, that's
so
very
it's kind of one of those things that the book examines sort of the trauma of a hit and run.
Sure.
And I know that Lois Duncan at the time was not very happy with this movie because they just sort of form it to be this House on Sorority Row and Prom Night send up of the movies of the 80s.
Okay. Interesting.
Which is, I think it was successful in doing that, which is funny. It's just not her goal, but it was successful in doing so.
Huh. Okay. See, now I grew up all in middle school reading the horror novels of Christopher Pike.
I'm sure that there's probably about 4 books by Christopher Pike that are this plot.
Well, there is a series in Christopher Pike's oeuvre that are the Chain Letter series. There's Chain Letter 1, 2, and 3, I believe. And Christopher Pike is very R.L. Stein-ish.
Okay.
But I think Christopher Pike fancied himself a little bit more of a serious sci-fi writer. And they always had some kind of supernatural element. So by the time you get to Chain Letter Part 2, it's just completely like a evil spirit from the 4th dimension. He really felt like he was a kind of a young adult Stephen King. And it's all right.
They were always really good.
R.L. Stein's already doing it.
They were always really good covers.
Oh, Christopher Pike books were the best covers. Loved them. And so I was on board with the Chain Letter books, especially the first one. And it had the most kind of to do with this. They actually killed a grown person, and they got the letter. A year later, they get a chain letter, and it's the whole thing. So that was kind of my thing, where I was I didn't even realize, when I first saw this as a teenager, that it was adapted from a book. I just thought that that it was just kind of a common idea, and I didn't even
because it's not very prominently in the credits that adapted or based on the novel or whatever.
That's probably for a reason.
Yeah. I didn't even really pick up too much on the whole urban legend aspect of it, really, because I was just maybe I was just so
the man with the hook story.
Yeah, the man with the hook story. Mm-hmm. That's. I mean, this is pre-movie urban legend, so they're just we're gonna tie it in. I don't know how I feel about this hook as this guy's primary weapon, though. It seems very unwieldy.
Well, also, it doesn't seem like it was his choice. He picks it up when he kills Johnny Galecki, and then he just is this feels right.
Why
I'm going to keep it.
Why does the Johnny Galecki character get killed by him? I don't know. They just needed a
that
death
makes
in
me so
the first
mad,
30
because
minutes.
it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. He does. Yeah, there's no stakes as why. Yeah.
I think that it was probably a studio note that we need a death in the first 30 minutes
I
of
read
this
that
movie.
it was. They were no one dies for too long. You got to kill someone. And they were well, we already paid Johnny Galecki his day rate, so.
It's true, though. Nobody does die for a while. Ryan Phillippe gets run over, but, I mean, that's scary. But, yeah, it's not.
And that weird transition, it would have been so much better if the fisherman swiped at the camera, blackout, but instead it's this slow fade. I was what happened?
Yeah.
And the Barry character was run over with a car in the book.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. In the book. All right.
Was he? So I remember reading that like when they were casting it, Barry was supposed to be a like 6'3" Adonis. Was he in the books like a big football player, dude?
Oh, I don't remember. I'm sure he was, though.
That's funny.
But instead they were like, well, we got Ryan Phillippe because he's well known.
But he does play it like scary. Like he plays it crazy.
He's got that like alpha douche energy
Yeah.
for sure.
He's got that masculine energy.
Yeah. So, going back a little bit to like the actual like crime that sets up this movie, the events of the movie, it's these 4 kids. It's not quite graduation night like the book, but it is a big night. They're celebrating
The 4th of July.
The 4th of July. And
So, recently graduated from high school.
And does she win the crown that night?
Yes.
This crab queen.
Oh my gosh. I
Baltimore
always
crabs.
I always die at all of the other Miss Croaker queens. That it's just like
These 38-year-old
casting directors.
women.
You couldn't have gotten like a 20-year-old actor to play all of these women.
The second pageant is it's the same. My boyfriend, we watched it last night and he was like, why is she like 30? Like,
One of them's the same
isn't it a
girl.
high school pageant?
Yeah. Doesn't make a lot of sense. But, they're out celebrating, that she wins, Miss Baltimore Crabs, and they're out on the beach.
Wins the crown, is going to have to is leaving for New York in 4 months.
Yes.
So what is she going to do
Why?
with this title?
How many grocery stores are there in this town for her to
It's going to be a long commute from New York to North Carolina to open up like
For the ribbon
supermarkets.
cutting.
Yeah.
Shivers is opening a 3rd floor, and she's got to be there for the ribbon cutting.
Oh, fucking Shivers. This like department store.
And also the last name
this-
like Shivers. Helen Shivers.
It's a good one. It's silly when you think about it, but it's a fun one.
It's a fun last name.
This 4 foot by 4 foot department store.
That has clothing, but also I feel like Bridget Wilson is like organizing like loose VHS tapes or something at one point.
I mean, it's just
And
like
then the glasses.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like an old school. That's how old department stores used to be. You could go in for like a pair of shoes, pick up some lipstick, and
But were they that small?
In these towns, maybe.
Yeah.
I guess it's not like it's not exactly like your J.C. Penney.
it's
but
like an
your-
old like
Shivers.
downtown like Woolworth store.
Yeah. But
I just love when she's like, go over to Ladies Fragrance. And I was like, okay.
You
Saying
mean
that there's
over
like zones. I have to turn, and that's it.
there it is. I can reach out my arm. Yeah, ladies.
Yeah.
Love it. We kind of do we establish right off the bat that Ryan Phillippe's character is kind of like unhinged.
Yeah, for sure.
He gets a scene with Johnny Galecki.
Yeah. Well, and also, it's a scene where Johnny Galecki's working. Like,
Yeah.
he's a server at work, and he's like, what are you doing here? And shoves him. And I was like, working. Clearly.
On the clock. You just saw him. Yeah. So we got these.
Also, Sarah Michelle Gellar says he's going to go to rehab.
What?
Yeah,
When
there's a
she's
lot-
like, I never noticed it until yesterday, but when she's like slowly mounting him, being like, we're going to move to New York and then vacation in Aspen. And she goes, and you'll put a baby in me before you go to rehab. And I was like, hold up.
Oh
Can
my
we
God.
discuss that?
What kind of?
There's a lot going on in this relationship. Also, Love does call him an alcoholic to his face.
She does. A couple times, I think.
Bold move for your friend.
Your best friend's boyfriend,
For
who's
your best
also
friend's
your
boyfriend.
friend.
Yep.
Yeah. So I feel like Freddie Prinze Jr.'s character, his whole thing is maybe he's kind of like less well off than the rest of them.
That's what the movie wants us to think.
Right.
I mean, he does own a boat like a year later, so he's doing pretty well.
He seems fine.
But I think that like maybe Ryan Phillippe's character is supposed to be rich because he's got this like BMW.
He's got the mansion.
Yeah.
And they
he's
walk
got
up
the
to his house.
mansion.
It's pretty massive.
Yeah. So, we didn't even talk about the red herring of all red herrings of like the guy sitting on the cliff in the opening credits.
Oh, yeah.
We're just like, who is
Oh.
this? What is going on?
Oh, are you talking about David Egan?
Fucking David Egan. God
David
damn it.
Egan.
Damn it,
And
David
Hage's
Egan.
brother.
Oh, man. Damn it, David Egan.
And it's one of the things that this script. It's just like all of the red herrings. The central like killer of this movie, it just makes zero sense.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things that Scream we kind of take for granted is just a well-plotted movie with really great characters. And this just feels like it was at the bottom of the filing cabinet when Scream
it's the porn
crossed
parody of Scream.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
When Scream crossed like $50 million, they just like grabbed this one out.
Yeah, the when you actually try and sit down, I was trying to like verbalize the whole thing with the real killer and his motive, and it was like way too long of a sentence.
It just turns into like the Red Shoe Diaries or something.
Because also, like, if you were Ben Willis, you get hit by some teenagers who dump you in the ocean, and you survive. Hey, they think you're dead. Cool. You can like do whatever you want now. Like, why bother?
He's a
true.
vengeful person.
Yeah.
The death of his daughter just like pushed him over the deep end, literally. So, you know, they're all out. It's this night of like drinking and like, you know, debauchery on the beach where it's that thing where straight couples are going to just like bone like 10 feet away from each other.
Right on the beach.
Yeah, they do this in the movie Chopping Mall. They all say they're going to bone in the department store, and I was
Where
like, so you're just going to be on separate beds? Like you're going to make eye contact with someone? That's fun for you.
Yeah, totally. And Ryan Phillippe is like drunk, like supremely like
Smash,
swigging,
21st
like,
birthday drunk.
Yeah, drinking.
Gets
right out
mad
of the bottle.
when Ray takes his keys to drive home.
Because it's his new like BMW or whatever, and
Yeah.
you know, blind corner, blind curve, hits something, and turns out to be a person. They think it's like
He also
deer or dog.
Ryan Phillippe is out the sunroof when they hit Ben Willis.
Yeah,
I feel like it should have like Hereditary like taken off Ryan Phillippe's head.
At least
Like
like
100% Ryan Phillippe's headless now.
that also would have been a better movie too.
hey, I mean,
Well,
that would have been fun.
So it's one of those things that I think that Pete and I have watched Scary Movie so many times that it never fails. It never fails when
We hit a boot.
Julie goes and picks up the boot. I always just say out loud, "Oh my god, we hit a boot."
Yeah,
I think that I remember Scary Movie so much more than this sometimes that like I'm waiting for Scary Movie moments to happen,
yeah.
and then I'm like, oh wait, no, that's the other one.
Well, we already
for
killed
Shorty
him.
to
We
come.
might as well rob his ass.
Yeah, good idea. He might have money in his wallet.
oh fucking,
I got a gold ring, credit card.
Brenda. Yeah, just waiting for Shorty to pull up, hotboxing.
So is it one of those things that we're at a point in society that seeing these 4 white teenagers run over this guy and then refuse to go to the cops? It's just like, kids, just go to the cops.
Also,
You're white and good looking. It's not going to be that bad.
But also, just Ryan Phillippe, you and Sarah Michelle Gellar walk away while we call the police.
Yeah,
Don't
exactly.
be here,
Just get
and we'll
outta
say,
here.
hey, they walked home. I drove his car back because I'm not drinking.
Yeah.
He spilled booze. Bing, bang, boom.
Exactly.
And clearly Ray hasn't been drinking. So I think
Yeah.
that he's going to pass like any sort
They'll
of
breathalyze
sobriety
him.
test
Yeah.
that they give him. Problem solved.
Well, but what you don't know is that
Right, but he's poor.
he's poor, and I mean, and he's half Puerto Rican. Well, but that's I don't know if the character is just Freddie Prinze Jr.
I do feel like this movie would be interesting with a contemporary remake where it's not all white kids.
Yeah.
Where suddenly there is
I
more
got
weight
news
to
for you.
Oh shit!
Is
They're
it?
making the TV show right now for Amazon in Hawaii. And I think that they did sort of interracially like cast it. So you'll
that
get that
makes
wish.
way more sense of why we can't call the police.
Yeah.
James Wan is producing it. It's
Okay.
filming like right
okay,
now.
we're in good hands.
All right,
Yeah.
all right.
And it's kind of one of those things that it's a fill in the blank premise that I think that you might need to up the stakes a little bit of like what they do. And then he comes back and just terrorizes them a week later.
Oh, we
Yeah, you gotta do more.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like there's a whole lot of going on with like we can't own up to this. We've got to get rid of the body. Blah blah blah. He's already dead. he's out here by himself, whatever. So they get rid of him. Something that I love about this movie is that we flash forward to a year later. And now Love, what is her character's name?
Julie James.
Julie. So now Love is in college. It's her first year of college. It's been a year. The whole year is done. We see her from behind writing on, this like ancient laptop.
Where the screen is like a third the size of the actual laptop.
The bezel on the screen is like 2 inches.
6 inches wide.
Yeah. She turns around and is just like grim death.
Methed out.
Oh,
it's been a rough year.
It has been a year for her.
It's solid makeup because she genuinely looks like a greasy meth monster.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing. They do it so well in these early scenes, and she's got like the stringy bangs, and her cheeks are hollowed out and all that. But as the
sunken eyes.
Yeah, but as the movie goes on, they slowly forget about it.
She gets sexier and sexier with each scene.
By the time we get to like mystical hillbilly like Anne Heche's house, she's just like full on 17 magazine like cover girl.
Crop top, tits out, ready to play.
Yes. Yeah. I love that.
There's also way more long pants for a North Carolina 4th of July.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it's got to be hot.
And when they're like scouting out the parade crowd, how are there that many people in rubber rain slickers?
Right.
Oh, yeah.
On the 4th of July.
It's very, the weather's unpredictable, and the Gulf Coast.
Yeah,
you don't know. There's a saying about Texas, like how's the weather, or something about changes every 10
Check
minutes.
again in 10 minutes.
Again in 10 minutes, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like Julie, for this kind of humidity, is in a lot of knitwear that I feel like might not be
a lot of floor length dresses.
She does do the classic boxy 90s overalls.
Yes, yeah. Which I'm not too mad at. But yeah, she'll be in like a sweater set, like. Well, yeah.
I do feel like everything that Sarah is wearing, you can probably just get in cotton on right now, because I think those shorts are kind of back with young people, like the high-waisted jean shorts.
Yeah, I'm so jealous of people who can pull that off, because my torso is too short for that. So I put on high-waisted shorts, and I look like Dee Dee from Dexter's Lab.
Oh, boy. I mean, say what you will about modern fashion, but you're going to pry my skinny jeans away from me out of my cold, dead hands.
Oh, yeah. You weirdo Gen Zs that are like, I want Jenko jeans.
No.
Get out of here.
No, you don't.
You
get out.
You can leave. I know it looks good on me. I'm going to dress for my body. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Julie goes home.
Goes home for the summer.
Or is it just the 4th weekend? I don't really know.
So she did summer session.
Sure.
So maybe this is finally going home for the summer.
Yeah. Because I think she just wanted to stay away from home as much as possible, right?
Yeah. Well, I also didn't know that colleges used to send your report cards home.
Right.
Like you were in high school.
Right, no.
I was like, I don't think that's weird.
Yeah.
My mom definitely didn't know that I almost failed macro economics. She doesn't need to know that.
Oh man.
Yeah,
Well,
that's a need to know basis.
Yeah. But she gets this handwritten, no postmark, no stamp letter.
Done with the Sharpie.
Already psychopathic.
Yeah.
Like,
we always laugh that there's an exclamation point at the end of I Know What You Did Last Summer. Do you really need the exclamation point? I don't think so.
I feel like it makes it less scary.
It does. Yeah. It makes it like
I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Yeah. Totally. Like it's gonna dot his eye with like a heart.
Like that's what you send to your friend when they went to Fire Island last summer.
Yeah.
Like, hey girl,
I know.
We all saw you under the docks.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. And the mom just so casually is just like, here's your mail. This this super shady thing that came in our mailbox.
Hi honey, who I haven't seen in a year and who doesn't have friends here. Someone dropped off a letter for you.
I hope there's not anthrax in it.
Yeah. I mean, if this was me, it would my mom would have opened it. My mom would have opened it. Sorry.
I think if it was this suspicious looking, my mom might have.
Yeah. I know it's for you, but I mean, it looked weird.
But there's no postage stamp, no return address.
What the hell?
So someone dropped it off by hand in our mailbox.
Yeah. So immediately she goes to like find everybody, right?
She first goes and tracks down Helen because she assumes that Helen went off to New York to be like
to be an actress,
to be like a soap star,
and in less than a year, she decided it wasn't working.
Because I mean, if you don't make it as an actress in your first year,
in your first 6 months,
yeah, get out. Just leave.
Especially in someplace like New York, too. It's just like, I'm sure that just like acting in New York is just even more cutthroat as it is in LA.
Yeah. Also, Sarah Michelle Gellar looks like her. So like, there's no way she wasn't offered some like, hi, come read Cabaret in my basement. Like, come on.
Well, you guys, Helen had been through some things. Maybe she just
here's a hot sandwich for you to read King Lear.
She was just not in the right mental headspace to to do this like off, basement nonsense.
Production of Cats.
Yeah, exactly. And also maybe like her crazy long hair. I think maybe they were trying to make Helen look a little bit more like middle of the mall, right?
Is she one
almost
of those?
Reads a little 60s.
Oh, yeah.
Is she one of those girls that would go on America's Next Top Model and they would get to the makeover episode and Tyra and Mr. J would be like, well, that hair is going to have to come off. Like, that's going to have to be shoulder length or Mia Farrow, Rosemary's Baby.
Well, then I'm going home.
Sarah just walks off.
That's when she pulls a Marcia and slaps him and says, cut my hair.
I mean, that hair is far too long, in my opinion.
I don't know. It's iconic I think of Buffy. And I think that's also a problem for me with this movie is that, like, I'm so used to this age Sarah Michelle Gellar being, like, leather pants, high-kicking Buffy that I'm like, come on, you can survive.
Well, once the killer, like, goes to her house and gives her that sassy new haircut, then she looks like Buffy.
Then she looks like season 2 Buffy.
Season 2 Buffy.
Yeah, this is speaking of Marsha Brady. It's very much like, well, I'll get you, Helen. Ha ha ha! Your prize hair, and she's just like,
it's a perfect sleek bob.
Yeah,
Marsha, what did you do to your hair? I also like that when she's on the parade float, it looks like she got some like touched up highlights.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm going to get it. I'm going to get the hair fixed. Yeah. I might as well just put in some new highlights.
She's getting it evened out.
Get the Rachel.
Yeah. Oh man, that would have been on trend.
Also, it's so funny that in the beginning for the Croaker Queen contest, it looks completely different than the end of the movie Croaker Queen contest, where she's like, "I have to sit on stage the whole time." That no one was sitting on stage the first time.
No.
So what happened?
Yeah, it's a new thing for this year that last year's girl has to come out and hand
and
it
just
off.
sit there.
Yeah. So we find out that she couldn't cut it in New York. She's back in town.
Hi, Flop.
She hasn't gotten the letter yet. She hasn't gotten her own letter yet, right? Mm-hmm. And they immediately go to Ryan Phillippe.
They go to Barry's mansion.
Barry's mansion.
Barry's mansion by the ocean. Yes.
It looks like it would be like it's like a magazine set, like Martha Stewart Living from the 90s would be here.
And we get Ryan greeting them in that wife beater. Can anyone wear a wife beater
tank top
like Ryan Phillippe?
Well, some people can.
I would argue Marlon Brando.
Oh,
sure.
All right.
That was a tank, though.
That's the same thing.
Okay.
They're tank tops. Oh, Marlon Brando's had sleeves.
It had sleeves.
Ah, that was more of a t-shirt.
Oh. In my head, I'm picturing it being the, like, for Streetcar.
Yeah. Maybe he did both.
I think it was kind of like a crew neck shirt.
We'll Google it. Because isn't that whole, like, urban legend is that after Streetcar, like, the sales of, like, tank tops
Yeah.
went to the
T-shirts
roof?
went up. Yep.
Yeah. We'll do a little digging. The producers will find out. But he hasn't broken his arm yet because but he's just like, ooh, you got a letter. And he's just like, whatever, who cares?
This is nothing. I know what you did last summer. Ooh, what a crock of shit.
We need help.
Yeah, I'll say. You know what? You guys should check out a mirror once in a while. You two look like shit run over twice.
You're a prick. We can't just ignore it.
Come on, Julie. How do you know this is even related? You did a lot of things last summer.
Yeah, well, only one murder comes to mind.
Just shut the hell up!
So they go.
Still a little drunk.
Yeah.
They go and tell
They go to rough up
Barry about the letter, and he's just kind of calling bullshit of like anyone could have sent that. I'm not buying it.
Right.
But also, like, who? Why, Barry?
Yeah. Why would they say? Oh, yeah. Does he go and rough up Johnny Galecki? Right.
Yeah, he
Well,
decides
yeah.
that it must have been Johnny Galecki.
Just goes to rough him up. To kind of like scare him because he thinks it's him. And yeah, it's right. It's here when Johnny Galecki meets his untimely end, right?
We get the great shot first, though, when he has the fish hook. It's not a fish hook. It's just
meat
like
hook, yeah.
yeah. And he like jabs it at the camera and is like, "I'll kill you" or whatever. And you're like, "Ooh, maybe it's Johnny Galecki."
I'm angry and
The scene following with him boiling crabs. I don't know why people working on a fishing dock would actually boil the crabs. You would want to send them to the restaurant
Fresh.
for them to
Alive,
boil them.
right?
To
And
them to
also,
yeah.
I've gotten crabs out in the ocean. You usually have to clean them. Like you have to take off their
Yeah, you
their,
have to
like,
flip them and
you have to flip them and hit them with like the mallet, and then take off the legs, and then you boil the legs.
Gross.
I don't know if I would boil
although
the entire.
maybe they're
crab.
lobsters.
No, they're crabs.
Maybe you don't have to clean lobsters. I don't know. North Carolina lobsters. That hot commodity.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, it seems so weird that he is doing the boiling there.
It's almost like they just wanted the atmosphere of boiling
Steam.
water,
They just
and that's
needed steam.
probably what led to this scene.
But again, it's the 4th of July, so blocks of ice are going to steam in the
sure.
4th of July heat.
Yeah. There's a lot of steam in this movie. There's steam in this scene. There's steam later on when Ryan Phillippe is at his like boxing gym.
Yeah.
Boxing
Oh,
ring.
we have
The
to
town
talk about
boxing
we
gym.
have to talk
Yeah.
about the gym.
I mean, Ryan Phillippe couldn't be in a movie without having a shower scene. And
I'm not going to complain about
So
that, though.
I remember being in junior high watching this movie and looking at the locker room situation and just being like, I cannot wait to join a gym. This locker room
I can't
is like
wait.
right in the middle of the workout area. So you could be like pumping iron or doing like weights and just seeing some guy take his clothes off.
what more could you ask for?
The situation in this gym is out of control. It is like in the center
is it just
of the gym.
open in the middle of the gym? I didn't even catch that.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think straight old dudes aren't going to think about it. They're like, we're not going to look.
And this
then
looks like
town
a
homos.
man's gym. Like your dad's gym. That's just like, they're just walking around.
Well, there's like a boxing ring in the middle
Yeah.
of it.
It's old men in full velour sweatsuits
Oh, yeah.
doing 5-pound weights. And then you have the town homo like with his opera glasses at his weight machine, like staring into the shower.
On the one really like God, do they even have like ellipticals? Like from the 70s or something?
No.
Some old dated
They would have
machine.
they would have had a Nordic
Nordic
track,
track,
like one
yeah.
Nordic track from someone's basement.
The shower situation is kind of
Yeah.
cool. I've never been to a gym with showers like this.
Yeah, it seems like a high school
Yeah,
kind of
there's
shower.
like dividers, but they're open at the top.
I mean, it's a man's gym. And in a man's gym, you sort of have semi-open showers.
Yeah, I have. So I don't work out, which shocks no one. But and like even in high school, we didn't use the showers, and then when I did Planet Fitness for like 5 seconds, I never used the shower, so I like no real world
I feel
visual
like
for
I'm the
what actual
only
gym
person-
showers look like.
I feel like I'm the only person I know that in high school they forced us to shower. They were like, "No,
We
you,
did- yeah,
you
that
will
is not a
shower
thing.
after gym class."
They didn't for ours. And-
Freshman year, 14 years old in there, and the shower was a room, a open.
So was ours.
Square.
Yeah.
So you had the Nightmare on Elm Street 2 showers?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Open square.
My high school
with
did.
just shower heads coming out, but they didn't make you shower either.
No.
They made us.
I was probably a little enthusiastic to shower after Jim.
You're running in there with your towel, like whipping around, and no one else is going in.
Yeah. No.
They're all like, what are you doing?
Yeah, no, not me, man. We were like...
But this is
was
like
showering.
the type of Jim in this movie that I would see at like our Civic Center, where like older men worked out at the Civic Center.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
They have their gold chain on.
Yeah. Well, the killer is like rifling through Ryan Phillippe's locker.
This is also one of those scenes that I always think of Scary Movie. Because
Yeah,
I think I'm
yes,
going to see
again.
a Polaroid of like a tiny penis when it says "I know."
Exactly.
Oh my goodness. The chase in like with the car and everything, it's like, why you're running? They're stealing your car. You're going to run after it. Not smart.
Yeah, let them take it at this point.
Take it.
I also don't know if there's any walking away with Barry getting hit by that car.
The second time in the movie where Barry should be dead.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Or should be dead, or you're at least paralyzed for life.
Yeah, you're in a wheelchair. You need physical therapy.
Yeah, he gets
But
hit,
also, it's a town of what, 1,000 people.
right?
If someone steals your BMW, what are they going to do with it?
Yeah. I don't know. They'd have to take it like way out of town to go find some chop shop or something.
I also feel like in this small town, it at least would have been news that Johnny Galucki is either murdered or missing.
Yeah.
That's a headline.
Yeah.
That's a front page headline.
Yeah, definitely.
Local fish worker gone missing while boiling crabs.
Fishmonger.
Foul play suspected.
So we have to talk about Anne Heche and this like hillbilly witch like character.
Sherry Moon Zombie.
I mean,
What?
I'm just kind of I've always been an Anne Heche like apologist.
Love
I've
her.
always like loved her. Pete and I are weird defenders of the Gus Van Sant Psycho. I like her Marion Crane in Psycho.
The Gus Van Sant Psycho is such an interesting thought experiment
Yes.
that like you just have to think of it that it's a film school project that
Yes.
happens to be a Hollywood movie.
It's like a feature-length Warhol movie that we're going to remake this classic shot by shot.
and the only thing we're going to add is more jerking off and buttholes.
And shots of like livestock and lightning.
Yeah, that's what we got.
stock footage. But you know, Anne Heche, I feel like this is kind of could be a throwaway character. They could have done it a little bit more like, you know, like playing up the like Hills Have Eyes ishness of it, and that's
For sure.
that's there. But I don't know. I think she plays it a little bit more like spooky than scary.
Spooky, but also I think she has a very sympathetic delivery
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, she's like a Misty Day. Spooky, but you feel sorry for her.
Yeah. And, you know, that because we get this whole like other red herring. Well, okay. The first thing is Julie reads one thing in the newspaper that this kid.
On her lap, no. She reads one
yeah,
thing on her 80-pound
80-pound
laptop.
laptop.
We noticed that I don't think that you could have got newspaper scans on just your desktop.
Well, whatever-
like your ass has to go to the microfilm for that.
Whatever.
Yeah, you got to go to the library.
Whatever crazy like college, you know, search engine she's working in, you know, she types one thing in, each result comes in a separate pop-up window, which
Can you imagine?
That's efficient.
Can you imagine using the internet that way?
that's efficient. And she finds out that somebody died last year, and she's just like, David Egan killed him. That's it. Solved it. Case cracked. David Egan. So she's just got
She's
this.
decided.
She has this hair up her ass that she knows that it's David Egan, and now she wants to go to his house. And what? She doesn't even have a plan.
Not the right idea.
She
Not the right move.
No, she has no plan. Helen is like,
I mean,
what are we going to do? She's
I'm
like,
with
"Oh."
Helen when like walking up to this house.
Yeah,
She's gonna-
100%. I'm
she's
Team
gonna
Helen.
wing
That's like
it?
bad idea.
Yeah.
You want to go harass the man we murdered's sister.
Yeah.
Just for funsies.
She doesn't even know that it's just a sister. It could fully be his parents, his grieving parents. You know, it could be any of them.
Yes.
But kind of fierce that their aliases are Jody and
Angela.
Kind of fierce.
That
though.
is a
I
that
love
is like,
that.
I mean, that's gay.
That's super
That's gay.
Yeah, the Angela Lansbury thing is, that's super gay. And they make one, like, they make some Silence of the Lamb references in there. But, yeah, so they're Jody and Angela. Love it. But, yeah, these scenes, you know, in this house, it's this very, like, creepy house. And, yeah, what she's wearing, like, I mean, I guess
dirty stained nightgown.
with like, an apron?
Well, I think that she was, like cutting up chicken or something. That's why she had
She
the
was
apron on.
butchering.
She was butchering animals, like, in the back. Yeah, so she's got, like, a weird apron, but it's kind of, like, not flesh-colored, but, yeah.
It's flesh. It's in the flesh tone family.
Flesh family, yeah. But she's very monochromatic.
And she's staring at Sarah Michelle Gellar making the phone call, which is just so weird and red herring-y.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. And then also, like, when they do decide to leave and they're sitting in the car and, like, she comes running over and, like, bangs on
I love how she bangs on that window.
So aggressive for you forgot cigarettes.
It's very aggressive for cigarettes because then you're like, well, does she, you know, does she know what's going on?
She's a murderer.
She knows what's happening. Yeah, because she's just like, oh, I got your car started and, like, is walking away as, like, they're driving off.
If I were a not murderer person and someone forgot cigarettes in my house, I would, hey, you forgot the cigarettes.
Forgot these.
And she throws her body weight at the window. And it's like, hey!
Yeah, and fully is like jumps on the car as like Julie's attempting to drive away with this woman still hanging out of your window.
She is.
You're gonna kill.
Surprised Julie isn't like cranking up the window.
She's gonna kill a second person, vehicular manslaughter.
That's the real
2
movie.
years
It's
in a
just
row.
Julie James succumbing to being doing vehicular manslaughter over and over.
Just mowing people down once a year.
Every 4th of July, I'm cursed
Comes back
to run
town.
someone over.
This poor town. Yeah. I think we've got our reboot. So this whole time they even gone out to reach out to Ray yet?
Well, Ray's in the hospital.
No, Barry's not.
Barry's in the hospital.
I meant Ray goes to see them in the hospital. So he's in the hospital room.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think so. I think there might be like a passing, like they see Ray after they rough up Johnny Galecki. I think they have a quick,
Yeah.
hi, I'm back in town, but we're not going to date. Bye.
Yeah. Because she's just like, oh, you've got the boat, blah, blah, blah. They have a little like...
Which I'm also just like, good for you, kid, like 19-year-old that has your own boat to go fishing with. Because like...
Your own business
Yeah.
and boat.
Yeah.
And also like fishermen, it's hard work, but you can make a lot of money being a fisherman.
Yeah, like they go out, like the Alaska fishermen go out for
Oh,
a
yeah.
month out of the year.
It's
Yeah.
one of the
And
most
they make
dangerous
all the money
jobs
for
in the
the year.
world, but it pays well.
Yeah.
kind of assumed maybe it's like his dad, because he kept talking about turning into his dad and like turning into his father and all that. So I'm thinking maybe it's his dad's boat or was his dad. I don't know.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah. I don't know. Family business.
But in the movie's universe, it's a poor person's job.
yeah.
Yeah. This he basically owns the orca from Jaws. And it's like, that's a success. This looks like a successful man.
Yeah, definitely.
This is when we get Helen coming home, and her dad is watching a baseball game from the 80s, by the looks of it.
Yeah.
But maybe that's
And
like
she's drinking her ice cold Diet Coke.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, on a balmy North Carolina day, I wouldn't turn down an ice cold Diet Coke.
Oh, I remember when the cans used to look like that
I
when they had
remember
the
that.
bubbles.
Yep.
I was like, oh, look at the old cans.
Yep. I got excited.
said.
I got excited when I saw the can.
Yeah, I did like.
I love
did like
clocking a movie of when it was made of how soda looks.
Yeah, what does your packaging look like?
You know, that's what's so wild about a movie like this from this era. Like to my eyes, this movie doesn't look like when we were like kids or teenagers and you'd watch something from like the 70s.
Yeah.
How those movies just looked fucking old, and you could tell that they were like a different era.
It's not like a pull-off top on a soda.
Yeah, so like do like the millennials with their like Jinko jeans and their like middle hair parts, are they watching this going like,
God.
look at these old people, this old movie, they don't even have cell phones.
I mean, 100%, and
Yeah.
I can feel my bones turning to dust as they say it.
It's like when I'm at work with a supervisor of mine, and I mentioned the movie Clueless. Like, oh, this song was in the movie Clueless, and she's just like, what? That's an old person movie.
Or like, think, what is an old movie to you? And they say Scream, and you're just like, no.
Yeah.
I'm just like, but Clueless was only released in 95.
25
Right?
years ago.
Well, it's like I did a musical with a 16-year-old like 2 years ago, and I mentioned Titanic. I was like, oh, I've never actually seen it, all of it, and he was like, what? And I was like, the boat sinks at the end, and like and everyone dies except for her. Like I know the gist. And he like said something. I was like, it came on 2 VHS tapes. It was very daunting. And he looked at me like, what? And I was like, when you like rented it, it was 2 VHS tapes. That's how long the movie was. And he was like, oh, VHS tapes. And I was like, oh, you're a child. I hate this so much.
But real talk, Lex, you need to finish Titanic.
I will get there eventually, but like, I know the gist.
The
They've
ending is
boned in the car.
Yeah. But hey,
He gets handcuffed.
all they
get it.
had was each other.
I do have the poster like right in the back of us. If you
Right
haven't
behind.
noticed
I
it.
do see the poster.
Yeah. We also have the 2 tape box set
On
I can
display.
Go reach out and
On
grab it
display
right now.
proudly in our apartment.
I love that.
You know, I've never finished the second tape of Braveheart. I remember watching
Really?
the first one, but I didn't make it to the second one.
I feel like it's a different movie if you only watch the first
Yeah.
tape. It's like watching Act 1 of Into the Woods. It's a very different musical.
Oh yeah. I usually fall asleep before Act 1 ends. But
So Helen gets her fierce bob.
She does. Her sister's a bitch first, though. Just we have to get that in there
a little
once
bit
again.
more, yeah, a little bit more of
Is the
Elsa.
washed up has been having a moment? That shit's
Washed
cold.
up, dried up has
Dried
been.
up has
my
been. That
God.
shit's cold.
Like,
So rude.
that's your sister, and she's only 19.
That's
Jesus
one of those.
Christ.
That's one of those reads on Drag Race where they do the reading challenge, where like a majority of them don't really get it, and they just say mean comments,
Yeah. It's like,
Yeah,
what a read.
or you
it's
get
like-
the
That's just hurtful.
or it's like pheromone stand up. It's just like, oh,
Yes.
that's just mean.
or Utica's stand-up. It's just mean and aggressive.
Yeah. I mean, but also, this is the girl that sees her sister being attacked outside, and it's just like,
What do you want?
What do you want? Why are you yelling?
Like, she can't see him behind her. He's not that far away.
she's being attacked. Like, what if she was like being raped? Like, she's gonna be murdered in moments, and she's just like, idiot.
I also don't know about her sister choosing to have store inventory on the 4th of July. What the fuck is wrong
Yeah,
with you?
come on. Are you Ebenezer Scrooge
Do you
but for
wanna-
the summer?
Do you want to pay your employees time and a half?
Yes.
But they don't have employees. She's doing it alone.
Well, that's because everyone was like, I'm not going to fucking go
That's
get
'cause everyone was like,
inventory on the
I'm
4th.
sick. Cough, cough.
She's Ebony Scrooge, the Vanessa Williams, the little known Vanessa Williams BET version. We love.
I believe it was VH1.
Oh, was it VH1?
Yeah, it was VH1.
Ebony Scrooge. Okay, that was a good one. Yeah, Kathy Griffin. That tracks. So yeah, she gets the hair chopped.
I do like the bit of sound design where you can subtly hear breathing in the closet. I think that
That is a nice
I
touch.
think that's a nice touch. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't catch.
Did you notice that? Yeah, you can
you
sort of
don't-
hear breathing.
You don't need to see him. It's enough just to hear that he's there.
Sure. Well, could we kind of see him like up the stairs? Like,
I mean, Helen must have taken like a Vicodin or something because
There
she's
was
out.
Ambien. There was Ambien in that Diet Coke.
Like she was not like waking up, getting her hair cut at all.
It was, although it wasn't even a gold can Diet Coke.
No.
It was the silver can. It was not caffeine free.
no, it was full on. Yeah, full of caffeine. So she
She went down.
went down hard. But the gold can Diet Coke. Just why?
I love that moment of Sarah waking up and noticing the hair. It's some good acting on Sarah.
The crown and the hair.
Mm-hmm.
And this wig. This
wig.
This out of the shake and go out of a bag, puffy wig.
Asymmetrical. Yeah. Oh, yeah. He puts the crown on her. Like she wakes up with the crown on her.
She wakes up with the crown,
Mm-hmm.
and it says "soon" on the mirror.
In lipstick.
Gay.
I wish he kissed it. I wish he also did the drag race kiss.
XOXO.
Although now I wish there was some drag race queen whose lipstick message was just soon in the
Yeah.
just soon. That's it.
Oh man, we should have got the footage of Helen though, just like with the Windex on the mirror and just like rubbing it off.
It's a new day in the workroom.
From the other side of the mirror
of the two-way mirror.
Love is doing her confessionals.
I don't want to go home.
It's a new day in the workroom.
Yeah,
new me.
New hair, new me.
Oh man. So, you pointed out that when Ryan Phillippe just kind of like naming off everything that happens to everyone, and Ray's just like, I got a letter.
Look, he's after me too. I got a letter. Oh, you got a letter. I got run over. Helen gets her hair chopped off. Julie gets a body in a trunk, and you get a letter? That's balanced. What body? What are you talking about? The act.
Yeah, because Julie discovers Johnny Galucki in her trunk with the crabs.
Which, how in the hell does this get cleaned
Beyond
up
that,
so fast?
how in the hell did he get it out?
How did he get it out?
The trunk's not wet.
It's completely dry. No, this is...
I mean, I
like
don't
he
know.
would have to lay down a tarp.
Yes.
I don't know why Julie just didn't drive where she wanted to go.
She just ran, like through the streets, waving her arms in the
You
air
would think
to
that she
Helen's
needs
house.
this body as proof.
No.
Yeah, my brain is like slam the trunk, drive over there,
Yeah.
honk the horn till they get out. Like I'm not leaving this car.
Yeah,
I'm not like letting this out of my sight.
I love that delivery by Ryan when he's like, did the crabs carry him away?
They carry him away.
Rude. Yeah.
And Sarah Michelle Gellar's in her
She's wearing her hat.
Yes.
her dancer hat.
I also like that she changed into this like halter top. That's just like, that's what you're going to wear
Lime green.
to go and see the
Lime
dead
green
body
halter.
in Julie's car.
It's a hot day. It's summer.
Yeah, on a hot summer day. That's a look I'd go for if my friend was like, "There's a dead body in my trunk.
Let me get my halter
Let me
top.
put on a crop top."
Yeah. But yeah, I just feel like the logistics of getting the body in, all the ice, all the like crabs, getting it out completely
With
dry.
no one seeing in the
No.
middle of the day.
Yeah, middle of
Yeah,
the street,
she's in
the middle
this
of
like
the day.
neighborhood.
No, this is not.
But this is where we get the classic line.
The iconic moment.
So good. I mean, this is like some MTV Movie Awards clip reel shit right here.
What are you waiting for, huh? What are you waiting for?
The number of times I do this on a weekly basis to my boyfriend, to myself.
And you got to
Just
say it to,
around
like
the house.
sky and like turning around.
Oh yeah, no, I
With
full
your
on
arms
out, spin around. What are you waiting for?
Yeah. I mean, you got to do it.
Apparently, that direction came from like a child.
What?
He like won a contest. It was like some like combi on set contest that a kid won.
Oh my god.
And they were like, "Oh, do you direct? Help us direct the scene." And he was like, "I think you should put your arms out and spin, and we'll like, and scream up at the sky." And Love was like, "This is the dumbest thing I've ever heard, but I'm going to do it."
Wow.
And then she did it.
And that child today is gay.
Yeah, and that child is a homo,
Could you imagine that of like being out at a bar and hearing that?
and
from
that child
someone?
was Thorgy Thor.
Of just like I was the kid that was brought on set for I Know What You Did Last Summer, and I told Jennifer to do that little bit when she says, "What are you waiting for?"
I directed the "What Are You Waiting For?"
I directed
That would be my Tinder bio, my Twitter bio, my Insta bio forever.
Yeah. I'd embroidered it on pillows.
And also setting up that is Ray another red herring that isn't Ray.
Is Ray working with Anne Heche and also Elsa?
Oh man, if they
That would be a
formed
great little trio.
yeah.
an alliance, yeah.
You could get
in.
like the scream reveal of the not 2 but 3 killers.
Yes, exactly.
Oh man, we've got to write this, the graphic novel of like what could have been.
He like goes to write something down, and Julie's like, "I recognize that handwriting." Ack, and she runs.
Recognize those exclamation points.
So Helen has to go get her hair fixed because she has to be in like on the parade float in like 2 hours.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the other thing I never think about. That she says I can't be at the store at noon or at 9 or 10 because she has to be at the parade. So from wake up time to parade is not a long time.
No, yeah. The parade lasts like all night because like by the time
It's still happening when
And
she dies.
Also, this small town has it in the budget for not one parade but 2 parades, and also these floats of these like the croaker fish that
the
she's
giant clamshell.
yeah, because when she's on the float with Ryan Phillippe sitting on it, it's daylight, right?
100%.
And
It's
then
like
later-
11. It's noon.
Yeah, and then later on when she gets killed, there's still marching bands.
Yeah.
I mean,
that poor marching band is just bloody feet.
Just
It's the
doing
it's
the town loop.
I mean, it's the 10:00 4th of July marching band show.
I mean, shit. This, yeah. there's not a
Also,
lot
kind
going
of
on.
the stops that this town pulls out for the croaker. How about the Millier like set design of the croaker pageant?
It's very fun. The like
Those
hand painted
backdrops?
scrim.
Yeah.
That's some like
trip to the moon.
tonight shit.
And it's such a tiny stage. Like it reminds me of when I like my pageant because it was a tiny stage and they're like, "Hey, all 15 contestants, can you all stand out here at the end?" And we're like, "I guess."
Yeah, this theater or whatever it is that they're in, I always thought this room is so narrow.
It's like a town hall. I feel like.
Yeah. It's got the balcony up there. Yeah. I mean, if Johnny Galecki hadn't been killed, Ryan Phillippe's death in the balcony, would that have been the first one from the murderer?
I think
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
Also, another scene that just reminds me of Scary Movie. Because I just
Yes.
expect to see
Yeah.
or just to hear pieces of ADR of she's just like Pamela Lee.
That's my girlfriend. That's my girlfriend.
Oh man, Pamela Lee. But we also have, Julie goes back to visit Missy.
she's gonna take the
She
she's
brings
gonna
a
take the
yearbook. So
photo.
the plan has evolved from let me bother this woman whose brother I murdered
Yes.
to let me go back and ask if she
Pester.
will look through a yearbook and
Identify.
identify some.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
Leave her alone, Julie.
Leave this poor girl alone. But this is when Julie, super sleuth, who, she figured out the whole David Egan connection. in the first
Nancy Drew of
place.
Drag.
The Nancy Drew of Drag.
Julie Fletcher.
Everywhere she goes, death follows. She kind of figures out that what Missy and the Egan family believed was David's suicide note is the same "I know what you did," letter that they're all getting.
No exclamation points, though.
Right. So
David did not get the.
That's why they.
the pep.
That's why they thought it was a suicide note. It was sad. It was somber. It wasn't as exciting
Yeah.
as hers.
He did a frowny face at the end.
Yeah, his handwritten emojis. So this is all going on kind of at the same time because that's why she's
Yeah.
not with.
I think it's sort of
Helen.
cut in with Helen on the parade float.
It's a back and forth, yeah. Where the crowd full of rubber rain slickers.
Oh my goodness!
Naturally.
Yes. So from here on out, I feel like that we're talking about how well paced.
I
Helen's
feel like
kind of
this
chase.
bit of the movie, of the big slasher movie chase scene with Sarah, is pretty well done. Like, it's a very...
It's easily one of my... Even, like, this movie is sort of... It's good, but, like, I know it's not the best.
Yeah.
This chase scene's probably one of my
like,
top 5.
It's well edited. It's well directed. You just sort of see this path of her in the cop car, seeing the cop murdered.
Mm-hmm.
She busts out the window. She runs to the store, and then they have...
You don't know if she's going to survive or
Yeah.
not. Like, and I think that's
Yeah.
what is really cool about it. You don't know.
Yeah, because she makes it through like different levels. She makes it from the cop car to the store. Then she's in the store. Then she gets out, and now we're in the alley. And this alley, by the way, there's like big rig. There's 18 wheelers.
Like,
There's like an Airstream.
What is this tire budget in this town?
So we were watching a making of documentary on YouTube that I think that they just pulled from the Blu-ray. The director talks about how when he was scouting locations for the department store, that he just really liked this location. So they wrote this location into that scene just because he really liked it. And he just thought that it would work really well for the chase scene. And when she goes through the alley... Well, also the Bridget Wilson Sampras scene of the murder, I think, was reshot because originally
It didn't have blood at first.
I don't think
Yeah.
that she was murdered on screen, and there was no blood in it. And then the alley scene, same alleyway, shot differently. Movie magic.
Same alleyway as well.
Really?
Just like
It's the same alleyway of when she first goes down it, and then the rows of tires. It's the same alleyway that they just
oh yeah,
they just
They
redress.
do that all
though.
the time. Now
But
we're going to do the reverse
just
angle.
movie magic, though. You would never
That's
know.
fun.
Of just, and also just the tension of she's going down these alleyways, and you think that she's going to make it.
She is so close, and when she turns around, I get mad every time.
I don't know how the fisherman made it all the way over there. I guess that he just bolted the long way, like around the street, and made it to the
Yeah.
other side.
Because she's so close.
I think he knows this town a little bit better than Helen. He's been around the block.
Then the Croaker Queen.
Yeah.
He knows the town better than the Croaker Queen.
I mean, shit, the town murderer. Yeah, this,
Can we also talk about Ryan Phillippe? He's like, I'm going to protect Sarah Michelle Gellar by being as far away from her in this room as
I'm
possible.
going to protect her from the balcony,
yeah,
not off stage.
With what?
yeah.
He has a bow in it. He has a long bow up there.
Well, yeah, because that's the thing. It's like this murderer's MO is not like shooting people. Like
No,
we know
it's a
like,
hook.
Yeah, it's literally you have to be feet away from them. So,
Should have been in the front row.
Yeah, I mean that's not his strong suit. Was not smarts, the brains department.
Mm-hmm.
Not a big thinker.
No. But yeah, from here on out, it's like we're losing people left and right. This is a good, suspenseful set piece.
I think Sarah's really good in the scene, too.
She's really good in it.
She's great. That elevator thing is always
yeah.
like the coolest set piece ever.
Yeah.
An actual elevator in the location that he just liked, and they wrote in the movie.
Wow.
Oh, that's cool. But this whole like final showdown on the boat.
Yeah, I feel like it's one of those things that this last act of the movie, if I was like the producer or the director, I'd be like, Kevin, do you want to just rethink the last act of this movie? Because we're going to be on a boat. It's just going to
Also,
be a
how
pain in the
big
ass
is
to
this
shoot.
boat?
Yeah, it seems like it's got like very many like levels and rooms, and there's lots of stuff going on with this boat. She keeps opening doors and climbing into. I wouldn't do that in a boat that I
No,
was
but
not
also
familiar
like,
with.
there's no. Every time I say like this is an impossible boat. This is like the Overlook Hotel of boats.
Yes.
I am a big sucker of in slasher movies when you see all of the main characters' bodies that they're all being kept together, like in Halloween. I do.
Yes, that's with this when the body swings and what's his face swings down
Yeah.
in Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, but this is like this, MC Escher, boat.
that ice room set piece is so clever, though. I have to give credit for that one.
It is, but the little ice that just looked like something that you would put in
Clear
the bottom.
plastic?
Clear plastic.
I mean, it
yeah.
probably had to be clear plastic just for shooting logistics.
Yeah.
I think I read on IMDb, so like grain of salt said it was gelatin, and I was like, "There's no way." Like,
no, that
that's
would have like turned to mush after a while.
yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be like the stuff that you put in the bottom of like a vase or a
Yeah.
fish tank.
Prop ice.
But yeah, love that room. Very cool. Ray kind of comes to the rescue. I love when he gets kind of like punched off the side of the boat.
Well, Julie notices Billy Blue.
His
Is
boat.
his boat name.
Yeah.
Which, why are you naming the boat Billy Blue?
Maybe it's his dad's boat.
Billy could
Maybe
be a
his
lady
dad
name.
named it the Billy Blue.
It's Billy with a Y, not a IE.
It still could be. Maybe Well, at any rate,
And this is just sort of when I think that there's even a scene of Love just explaining the ending of the movie, and you're just like,
What?
Yeah. I thought we got there, but you explained it very confusingly.
Yeah. What is the real killer's name?
Ben Willis.
So Ben Willis murdered David Egan, and David Egan was
Ben Willis's daughter's boyfriend.
okay. No, girlfriend.
Yes.
Or Ben Willis's daughter was dating
Susie.
David Egan.
Yes.
Yes.
Because Ben Willis's boat is called Sweet Susie.
Sweet Susie.
Mm-hmm.
And then...
So she dies in a car accident.
So it says she drowned, but he survived. So did he just not let her, not help her out of the car? Like,
And maybe that's
is that why he
he's
hated
vengeful. Yeah. So we think that that our hero teens ran over David Egan. They actually didn't. He was killed, but it was made to,
he was already dead.
he was already dead. They thought it was a suicide because of the note, because the dad was taunting him like he's doing with them.
This
is too much.
It's this explanation that makes you really, like I mentioned before, appreciate how Scream sort of like puts all of its pieces together at the end of that script.
Yes.
I feel like as a viewer, and especially as a young viewer, you're just like, you forgot about that kid on the cliff at the beginning of the movie.
You definitely, but then like, they don't even cut back to him.
Nope.
There could have been a flash, just a quick on-screen
Very
flash
short,
of like
yeah.
David Egan was sad, and he like spins his little medallion or whatever.
Yep. Yeah, none of that. We get none of it. We're just supposed to put all the pieces together with like some like expository, exposition dumps by a couple of characters. But,
And did you notice that Ben Willis in his like shrine to the kids has a photo of the parade that Sarah Michelle Gellar was in that day?
Jesus.
He had to go to the 1 hour photo.
It's the same float.
Yeah. So he took a photo of her, dropped off the film, killed Ryan Phillippe, picked up the film, then was at the car in the alleyway to kill Sarah Michelle Gellar.
All it was missing was just the pieces of yarn.
The red yarn.
Or her hair, like a lock of her hair tied together.
Yeah. Because there was something that they left at the dock when they threw him in the water at the very beginning of the movie.
I think that was the spinny medallion.
The spinny medallion, yeah.
And you see, and you get that shot of it.
Yeah. I feel like they thought they were doing a really good job of like leaving little clues, but like
they thought they were clever.
They thought you thought you were clever. Yeah. So at this point in the movie, we're just like, who cares? Yeah. Wrap it up.
Pull it. Come on. Get the hook.
Get the damn hook.
I mean, is this like the definitive Man with the Hook movie from the urban legend?
I'm trying to remember if Urban Legends has a hook guy.
Yeah, there's a scene where the person's the whole thing with the hook guy is the guy is hanging from the car, and they think that they never do anything.
And also, kind of a little tie-in to Urban Legend with I Know What You Did Last Summer. That Jamie Blanks, who directed I Know What You Did Last Summer, he's from Australia, and he did like a trailer pitch for I Know What You Did Last Summer, and Neil Moritz, that produced the movie, like really wanted him for the job, but it fell through at the last minute. And they
gave him Urban,
they
right?
They gave him just make a horror movie, direct a horror movie, and we'll make it. And it was Urban Legend.
Here's Rebecca Gayheart. Make a movie.
Yeah, make her hair the centerpiece of the movie.
Wow.
I do have to say, if I'm at the video store, I'm like in junior high, and I have to pick between.
It's Friday night.
Urban Legend, and I Know What You Did Last Summer. I hate to say it, I'm probably picking Urban Legend.
Girl, I am not.
Are you going cover alone or like knowing the movies?
Knowing the movies. Although both have great covers, though.
I was going to say that both covers have that like, ooh, I want to see this.
I would say the like hierarchy of late 90s teen slasher movies. Of course, it has to be Scream at the top. Scream 2, Urban Legend, I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Oh.
I still Know What You Did Last Summer is probably on the bottom, even though I always have fun with it whenever I revisit it.
It's a fun one. Brandy's there, surviving.
Yeah, do we want to...
It's above Scream 3.
Just talk a little... Oh, yeah. And then Scream 3 is at
Bottom,
the very
bottom of the barrel.
Yeah.
Then Scream 4, then 3 blank spaces, then Scream 3.
Funny story about Scream 4. I put that on our Apple TV when I was packing last week when we were going out of town, and Pete walked in and he was like, are you watching the Scream TV show? And I'm like, no, this is Scream 4. And Pete was like, what?
It looked like garbage.
Just
Mama.
Because when you revisit that movie, Mama,
It's got a weird gloss to it.
It is not aged well.
Yeah. Movies at that time had that weird like
It's glossy.
Yeah, weird sheen. Don't know how to describe
I love
it.
Emma Roberts though, so I'm always down to see her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's great. I only saw it the one time and was not super impressed. I feel like I'll watch Scream 3 first just because it's so stupid that it's just like kind of fun.
I still Know What You Did Last Summer. A good vacation killer
It's a
movie.
good sequel.
Set in the Bahamas.
Yeah.
They win a radio contest of what is the capital of Brazil. And
get it wrong.
The prize is a all-expensed paid trip to the Bahamas in hurricane season.
That Ben Willis paid for.
Yeah, the logistics of I Still Know What You Did Last Summer are bananas.
A supposed to be dead fisherman bought 4
with one hand.
all expenses paid passes to the Bahamas.
And also the dad from Gossip Girl, like what's his name?
Doesn't matter.
Oh no, it does matter because it's tied into the movie. Ben's son. Ben's son.
That's right. And then
That's
they
his
really
name.
hammer that home for you.
Okay. Man.
Will Benson. Ben's son.
So good.
Oh, for crying out loud.
But
I need to watch it again,
but
apparently.
taught me what the real capital of Brazil is. It is not Rio.
Yeah.
I'll never forget now.
It is not Rio. Actually, I don't know what the real capital is. I just know it's not Rio.
We won't test each other on this one because it'll take a minute.
We won't do geography pop quizzes.
I don't have my Wikipedia at the ready.
Isn't it Brasilia?
Sure.
But yeah.
I'll let you have it. Say it confidently and I'll let you have it.
But Brandy and Mekhi Phifer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brandy, who should not have survived that movie.
Oh yeah, I don't think there's any
But
walking
had the
away
star power.
from that glass house that she fell through.
Yes.
Oh, man. But does it have the new metal soundtrack like this movie?
I mean, it has the How Do I Deal single from Love.
It does have a love single.
Yeah. And a karaoke scene.
Also, the killer
yeah.
had to somehow
Program the
know
karaoke
the killer somehow had to know that Love was going to sing I Will Survive and type in I Still Know in the karaoke lyrics.
Well, maybe that was the only karaoke song available.
I mean, some like basic ass girls out there given the opportunity to sing karaoke. It's either going to be Summer
Probably
Lovin'.
I Will Survive.
Yeah, it's going to be Summer Lovin' or
Summer Lovin'.
or I Will
it
Survive.
hurts.
So maybe he had some alternate lyrics to both just to cover his bases.
That's the thing. Every song that you could pick eventually
He
turns into
reprogrammed.
I Still Know What You Did Last Summer.
See, you never know. So, I mean, do we recommend that movie? Why not? It's fun.
I have a feeling it's probably going to end up on our Patreon commentary.
I think it might.
Yeah.
But I mean, I Know What You Did Last Summer, a property that's still thriving. Like I mentioned before, they are filming the Amazon Prime series right now in Hawaii.
Mm-hmm.
I think that production started in Malibu this spring on that. Or not Malibu, Maui.
I'm very surprised that I'll Always Know What You Did Last Summer didn't destroy this franchise
I always forget that
because it should have.
Yeah,
And
that looks
Will,
like not great.
Is that whole thing like the Cruel Intentions sequel that was meant to be a television series and they just made it into like a movie? I don't know.
I think it's more of the American Psycho 2 where it wasn't supposed to be a sequel.
Sure. And they just branded it as I Know What You Did Last Summer.
It takes place in a Midwestern town, so no water. The fisherman is still the killer, and then the plot twist, is that it's the zombified body of Ben Willis.
No. Oh, man.
That's the killer.
All right, now we
Is
gotta
Kurt
watch
Smith
it.
from Dawson's Creek in it?
I don't know.
Is he zombie Ben Will? Oh, man. Well, I mean, shit. That is available for streaming
So that
today.
movie exists.
Yeah, that's a real
Yeah, that's
thing.
a film that exists.
Wow. But I mean, yeah, I feel like this movie, as crazy and as silly as it is, it's still fun because these performances
It's fun.
are
It's
nuts.
very fun.
Yeah.
Update: Keir Smith was not in.
Oh
I'll
well.
Always Know What You Did Last Summer.
But you know who's in this movie? My girl Love Hewitt. I mean,
National treasure.
Your bestie.
my bestie. Would I bring up this movie immediately? You know, when we hang out, when we have like magazine and wine parties, I might go Kids Incorporated first, but
Sure.
I'll definitely talk about this with her. And you know, I think she's the kind of person that'll just be like super happy that you know, that you're a fan and that you just like still like talk about some old properties. Mm-hmm. I think she's that kind of gal. It's just like, thanks.
Yeah, she would.
Yeah.
I'll definitely bring up House Arrest.
Oh.
I would bring up the Barbie tape.
I always forget about the Barbie.
Working out Barbie.
Oh man. And is that the thing where like it's like a stop motion Barbie?
Working out Barbie. Huh?
It's like
no,
a
so it's a
stop-motion
I don't think it's a stop motion Barbie unless it's cutaways. It's been a minute since I've seen it.
Okay.
But I know it's like I don't think you ever actually see Barbie do it. I think it's just like all the kids are on screen.
Sure. Okay. All right. Yeah, maybe I'm thinking of the commercials for like just the workout Barbies in the 80s that they did have stop motion ones, and they're like, FYI, Barbie doesn't do that.
Well, so I think Working Out Barbie had suction cup feet, so she could do
Okay,
my
sure.
Goodness
like
gracious.
toe touches and stuff.
I love it. I love every minute of it.
We're kind of working our way through the Sarah Michelle Gellar cinematic catalog, which is very limiting.
We'll be doing Scooby-Doo 1 and 2.
I love Scooby Doo.
Sarah
I
met
don't know if
her
we're gonna hit
husband on
those.
this movie, so it's a big deal to them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. So
I
this
bet
is,
they watched on their anniversary
oh man, what a treat!
Every year.
I would.
every year. Do they have kids?
I think they do.
Yeah, I think they have a couple. Yeah,
A
I'd
friend
show
of-
it to them.
A friend of ours that used to work in the art department on Buffy, and he was on set a lot, said that Freddie was very, very nice whenever he would come on set.
He seems like a nice guy.
Said he was just a really nice guy.
That's awesome.
Yes, indeed. But yeah, this movie it's a lot of fun, and we definitely recommend. You know,
I mean, it's iconic.
watching it. It is iconic.
It's camp.
yes,
Yeah.
camp for sure, for sure.
And
It's
especially
the campy porn parody of Scream.
Yeah, it kind of gives you the idea, though, like, you know, copycat movies are a thing, but this is like a produced. This is a real movie.
holds its own.
You know,
Yeah.
yeah. And I think kind of like nowadays or like since then, there would be like these weird copycat movies that just like now they would just end up on streaming somewhere. But like these are all real like name actors, you know?
It would be the Hallmark where you're like, is that no, that's not that person.
Yeah. But like, no, this is like a real
Is that
legit
Gretchen
thing.
Wieners?
Yeah. Right. So, but yes, we definitely recommend watching the hell out of this movie.
I feel like I always sort of revisit this movie around 4th of July. It's a good 4th of July movie that no one really talks about.
This and Jaws are my two 4th of July midsummer movies.
If I was better at doing the schedule, I would have made this our 4th of July episode. We brought it to you early.
Hey,
Listen
it's a fun
again.
time.
Listen again when it comes to 4th of July. But, oh man, this has been a lot of fun, man.
Yeah,
could talk
I
about
love
this
coming
movie
on.
all day, but
So what have you guys been doing in your podcast lately?
yeah, talk about your show.
Dissecting the 80s.
We have let's see, we did WrestleMania for March. I don't remember when. I've recorded so many episodes of that show that I don't remember when I was last on your show. We did Kurt Russell month.
Ooh.
It was Oops All Carpenters. So we did Not They Live. We did The Thing and Escape from New York and Big Trouble in Little China. I programmed the show in the month of April, and we did Legend and Labyrinth. And coming up soon, we're about to record Night of the Creeps.
Yay!
And
that is Bubba from Mama's Family in it.
I'm very excited because I have not seen it, but my brother owns it, so he's like, I love this one. And then we did what Bette Midler did we do? Ruthless People.
Love it. Man, the 80s, what a time. Those are all
Right?
like fucking great movies.
I listened to your Legend episode. You went a little hard on Legend.
Had I grown up with Legend, it would have been very
Legend
different.
is like my jam, but I do understand. Maybe not a great movie if you're just like joining the party all these years later.
It's nuts. It's a lot.
It's so much heavier than I thought it was going to be.
So you guys pointed out something in Legend that I've never really thought about, of how sparingly used Tim Curry is in that movie.
Oh, yeah.
And it was makeup issues.
I
That they
know,
just
because
couldn't use him a lot.
he like hurt. He like pulled it off and got like a
Like he
chemical
ripped
burn
skin
or
off
whatever.
his
Oh, my
face.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they were like, well, I guess you're out for 2 weeks or whatever.
Holy shit. Man, yeah, is this screen time in that movie like 10 minutes?
It is way less than it should be for how cool that makeup is.
Yeah, it's great. It is iconic. And Labyrinth, I mean, come on, get out of here. Get out of here.
Yeah.
These kids,
Ugh, Labyrinth.
they don't
We
know
have
what the
yet
hell.
to get to our Legend and Labyrinth episode. They're on the way.
Yeah, we have to cover both of those movies.
Oh,
Both
Labyrinth.
of those
Labyrinth is 100%
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
primo.
Yeah. I feel like if given the opportunity, I would just wander around town in a puffy shirt and a applique vest.
Yeah, with a high collar cape.
Yeah. 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 I mean, she's got an iconic wardrobe.
I was listening to Race Chaser today on my walk, and they mentioned what's David Bowie's name in Labyrinth, and I just said Jareth out loud on my
Jareth.
walk.
It's Jareth.
Jareth the Goblin
With
King.
the TH, not Jared.
And all they got was, it's David Bowie in Labyrinth. I was like, no, it's Jareth.
I hate those moments because you're like screaming at your phone, like, it's this!
Also,
it's Jareth!
isn't Jareth Jinx Monsoon's real name?
No, it's Jarrett with
Jarrett?
with two
Okay,
T's.
sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, maybe.
No, it's Jarek with K. It's Jarek. I was wrong. Sorry,
Jarek.
Jinx.
Sorry, Jinx, if you're listening.
Big fan.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, yeah. So check out Dissecting the 80s.
Yep, we are on most podcasting platforms. You can also go to patreon.com/dissecting the 80s, where we have done some of the bigger ones that people always talk about, which would be like Roger Rabbit, Great Muppet Caper, Top Gun, Dirty Dancing.
You did two great
Very
Muppet Caper
fun.
episodes.
I did, but the first one I did was like 5 years ago.
Sure.
And so I was like,
wagon
that's why I was like,
wheels?
it feels like it's been long enough. I feel comfortable doing it again.
I do feel like we did put it out in the universe of Miss Piggy to go on Drag Race, and she was just announced that she's going to be on All Stars.
I did not hear that announcement. I might have to actually watch All Stars now.
Subscribe to Paramount Plus.
Yes, indeed.
Ugh.
You're like, no.
one more streaming.
You get all the Nickelodeon shows, though.
Well, when I got my nipples pierced, all I wanted to do after was lay down and watch season 7 of Drag Race, which wasn't only available on Paramount Plus. So I did the free trial and then forgot about it. So I got charged for like 2 months of Paramount Plus, and I was like, "Oh, oops, no."
It was $12. It's an extra value meal.
Yeah,
I've been debating of getting the nipples pierced, and I'm just too scared to do it.
I will say I have 2 thigh tattoos that I got done at the same time, and my nipples pierced. That's my only body mods. the nipples hurt way more.
I have a full chest piece, and I'm afraid to get the nipples pierced.
I mean, from other people, they say that the nipples are pretty painful. They hurt me at first. I'm fine now, but like that, I would recommend not driving yourself to the piercing place. Have someone else drive you so that you can just all the way home.
All right, man. Well, this has been a lot of fun. This has been so much fun. Got to wrap it up, though. We could keep talking forever.
We'll have you on again.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we could keep forever.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. But until then, we will say goodbye, let you go, and bid you adieu. Bye, man.
Bye.
Bye.
And thank you so much for listening, everybody.
Yay.
Once again, another great episode. I'm going to go watch I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, since we talked about it so much. But since we are at the very end, it is about that time. We've got some
Patreon shout-outs.
Shout-outs. Thank you so much, everybody. We've got a brand new patron.
Yay.
Merle.
Thanks for signing up, Merle.
Thanks for signing up. Thank you for being a friend. We've got some other patrons we want to say hi to. So aside from Merle, we want to say what's up to Jacob, Michael, Charlie, Heather, Muffy, Paul, Jamie, Drew, Jimmy, Genevieve, Dawn, Joshua, M. Lamelli, Aaron, Melinda, Jim, Jessica, John, Nick, Christine, and Rufino.
Love it.
Love it. Thank you guys so much. Thanks for being a friend. And thank you for following us on Patreon. Everybody out there, you should head over to patreon.com/movies that made us gay to check out a ton of Watch With Us commentary
We
tracks.
have our monthly newsletter.
Yes, indeed.
We have for the top Patreon members, the Watch With Us commentaries. By the time that this episode comes out, a new commentary will be out, too.
Yes, indeed. And, you can get a postcard at any level. So why don't you go over there and subscribe? We would love it. And we'd give you a shout out every single week.
And when our episodes run long, I will put on an extended cut of the episode.
Yes, indeed. Actually, we're going to start doing that too. Well, we have been doing that. So a couple,
it's kind of
couple long ones are on
if
there.
they run long.
We would also love it if you would head over to Apple Podcasts, subscribe, rate, and review our show.
Give us 5 stars.
Yes,
I want to read
indeed.
another one.
Yeah, we haven't had a new review in a while, so we'd love it if we got a new review. We'll read it on the air, just like all the other ones. So head on over to do that on Apple Podcasts. You can find us on Instagram and Facebook at Movies That Made Us Gay, and you can find us on Twitter
At MTMUG Pod.
Yes, indeed. My name's Pete, and I am on Instagram and Twitter at Peter Lasagna.
And I'm Oscar Scott on Twitter. Scott Youngbauer on Letterboxd. What am I missing?
Instagram.
Scott Youngballer.
Yes, indeed. So head on over there, check us out. But until next time, until next week, we bid you adieu, my lovelies.
Beware of the man with the hook.
Watch out. Bye.
Bye.